Chapter 10. The Battle Against Ancient Forces. The air crackled with tension as Arinze emerged from the ethereal landscape, the battlefield of Igala stretching before him once more. Kira stood at the center, her dark magic swirling around her like a tempest, her eyes gleaming with malice. The villagers watched in fear, their hopes resting on Arinze's shoulders. "You think you can unite these tribes?" Kira taunted, her voice dripping with disdain. "You are a fool, Arinze. The darkness will consume you." Arinze felt the weight of her words, but he stood tall, the wisdom of his ancestors guiding him. "I will not be ruled by fear any longer, Kira. The power of unity is stronger than your darkness." With a flick of her wrist, Kira unleashed a wave of shadows that surged toward him. Arinze raised his sword, channeling the strength of his ancestors, but instead of meeting her darkness with brute force, he focused on the light within him. He called upon the spirits, drawing on their wisdom to counter her dark magic. As the shadows approached, Arinze shouted to his people, "Stand with me. We are stronger together." His voice rang out, resonating with the power of unity. The villagers, inspired by his courage, rallied behind him, forming a line of solidarity against the encroaching darkness. Kira's eyes widened in disbelief as the villagers combined their strengths, each tribe contributing their unique skills. The warriors of the Leopard Clan stood shoulder to shoulder with the forgotten tribes, their differences melting away in the face of a common enemy. Together, they formed a barrier of light, pushing back against Kira's dark magic. Arinze moved through the ranks, coordinating their efforts with strategic precision. He directed the archers to target the shadows that flanked Kira, while the warriors engaged her directly. He used his knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver her, leading the charge with a calculated grace that showcased the depth of his training. As the battle raged on, Arinze felt the energy of his ancestors flowing through him, guiding his movements. He countered Kira's dark spells with bursts of light, each strike fueled by the collective strength of the tribes. The tide began to turn, and Kira's confidence faltered as she realized the power of unity was overwhelming her darkness. "You cannot win," Kira screamed, desperation creeping into her voice. "The spirits will not allow it." "They will allow it," Arinze replied, his voice steady and resolute. "Because we are united in purpose. We fight not just for ourselves, but for the future of Nanyuki." With one final surge of energy, Arinze led the charge, his sword glowing with the light of unity. He confronted Kira directly, their powers clashing in a brilliant explosion of light and shadow. The villagers rallied behind him, their voices rising in a chorus of strength and determination. As the dust settled, Kira fell to her knees, her dark magic dissipating into the air. The villagers stood victorious, their hearts filled with hope and resilience. Arinze had not only defeated Kira, but had also united the tribes in a way that would forever change the course of their history. In the aftermath of the battle, the village of Igala lay in ruins, but the spirit of its people burned brighter than ever. Arinze stood amidst the remnants of the conflict, his heart heavy yet hopeful. The scars of war were evident, but so too was the determination to rebuild. The villagers worked tirelessly, clearing debris and tending to the wounded. Arinze moved among them, offering encouragement and support, reminding them of the strength they had shown in the face of darkness. He understood that healing would take time, but he was committed to leading his people toward a brighter future. As the days turned into weeks, Arinze implemented policies that promoted cooperation and understanding among the tribes. He organized gatherings where stories were shared, traditions celebrated, and cultural exchanges fostered. The villagers began to see each other not as rivals, but as allies, united by a common purpose. However, the path to unity was not without its challenges. Old prejudices lingered, and mistrust simmered beneath the surface. Some villagers resisted the changes, clinging to the old ways that had defined their identities for generations. Arinze faced setbacks, but he remained steadfast in his belief that true strength lay in collaboration. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village, Arinze gathered the elders and leaders of the tribes. "We have faced darkness together," he began, his voice steady. "But the journey to unity is ongoing. We must continue to work together, to listen to one another, and to build a future where every voice is heard." The elders nodded, their expressions a mix of respect and concern. They understood the weight of Arinze's words, but they also recognized the challenges that lay ahead. It would take time to heal the wounds of the past, but they were willing to try. As the village began to heal, Arinze felt a sense of hope blossoming within him. He knew that the road ahead would be long and fraught with obstacles, but he was determined to lead his people toward a future where unity reigned. Months passed, and the village of Igala transformed. The scars of battle faded, replaced by the vibrant colors of life and community. Arinze stood at the edge of the village, watching as children played and elders shared stories under the shade of the baobab trees. The air was filled with laughter and joy, a testament to the resilience of the Leopard Clan. Reflecting on his journey, Arinze understood that true leadership was a continuous process of growth and adaptation. He had faced darkness, betrayal, and loss, but he had also discovered the power of unity and compassion. The lessons he had learned from his ancestors guided him, reminding him that the strength of a leader lies not in their ability to wield power, but in their capacity to inspire and uplift others. The legacy of the Leopard Clan had evolved. No longer defined solely by their martial prowess, they had become a symbol of unity, wisdom, and resilience. Arinze envisioned a future where the tribes of Nanyuki stood together, not just as warriors, but as a community bound by shared values and mutual respect. As he looked out over the village, Arinze felt a sense of hope and optimism. The darkness may never be fully eradicated, but the light of unity would always prevail. He knew that the journey was far from over, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the knowledge that together they could overcome anything. With a heart full of determination, Arinze stepped forward, ready to lead his people into a new dawn. A dawn where the legacy of the Leopard Clan would inspire future generations to strive for peace, cooperation, and understanding. The story of their unity would echo through the ages, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, the light of hope would always shine bright.